Okay, I think we're live, guys. So, yeah, it's Ross. I'm just trying to see if anyone is going to come in the channel and watch this video live. See what happens. Let me see if I can post this to different social media. Let's post it to my Facebook. See if we can get anyone live. Alright, where's the link to the stream? Does this work? No. Yo, if you guys can hear me, say something in chat for me. Tell me how the video quality is, the audio quality. Ooh. Loud and clear. Nice, nice, nice. Now, where's the damn link to this thing? Because I want to put it on my Facebook. I don't know where the link to the stream is. I've never done this before. But I want to talk to you guys about... Maybe we won't need it. I want to talk to you guys about Figaholics. Let me see if I can get some more people. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's the link. Let me post this to my Facebook real quick, guys. And maybe I'll post it to a fig group or something, or our figs, and see if we can get some more people in here. How's everyone doing? I can see what you guys are saying, by the way. Alright, so we just put the link up on Facebook. Let's see if anyone on Rafed's group wants to watch. But we're gonna do a, I don't know, I guess we're just gonna do like a little countdown thing until Harvey's thing goes live. Let's see, so we got it on Rafed's. Let's do California. See if anybody over there wants to join in on this amazing live stream. And we'll do our figs, and then you guys got my full attention. Dude. How's everybody doing today? I don't hear anything. What's going on? Figaholics countdown. So, are you guys enjoying the this like format? Let's see if we can get more people in here. Alright, I'm good. The links are out. You guys got my full attention now. Alright. So, for those of you guys that don't know, I don't know how into figs some of you guys are. Backyard Gardener and Mark. I don't know if you know about Harvey at Figaholics, but he sells cuttings. And that's kind of what we're doing today. We're doing a little countdown. Yeah. Yeah, his prices are really good. And I kind of want to just... I don't really want to hype up Harvey too much, because the guy makes so much money as it is, I think. But I do want to like let people know where they can get cuttings, because too many of you guys have been asking me where to get cuttings, and I don't have any. So... You know, this is a great place to get them, I think. So we'll see what's what in a second here. Alright, I think we're good. I think I can, like... think I can... Oh. Yeah. What are you getting, Backyard Gardener? What are you getting? Is that Dylan, by the way? Who am I talking to? What's your real life name? I don't want to call you Backyard Gardener anymore. But he's got the whole list right here on his Facebook page. And I've already picked out, like... I've probably picked out about 15 varieties this year that I'm going to grow. But yeah, so I want to just tell you guys a little bit of background for those of you who don't know. Okay, so Maria, you've done this before, but I don't know if Mark has, or if Mark has any interest at all, or anybody has any interest. But Harvey really does sell some nice cuttings, and they're pretty affordable. So you can go to his website here, Figaholics.com, and then you can go to his cuttings page, and he's just got like a crap ton of varieties, just an absolute crap ton. He's got the Facebook photos with it, so he has a Facebook page, and then he has a description for each fig, like a short description. And then you can, I would say, whoa, it's like 7:38 Eastern here. You have to get careful. I don't want anything to get the fig wasp. Yeah, that's true. I think Harvey's pretty good about that, but I definitely believe there's probably some varieties out there that require the wasp that he has and probably doesn't know it yet, but we'll see. He's really good about it. But anyway, it's 7:38 right now, Eastern, and I believe 9 Eastern, so in like an hour, somewhere around that time, 9 Eastern, he's going to put this page here live. And then you can refresh the page. There's probably people refreshing and refreshing and refreshing the page. People are worried that we're gonna crash his website because there's gonna be too much traffic. But you can refresh the page and then you'll see the different varieties. They'll have like a cart next to them. You can add them to your cart. And like I said, the prices are pretty reasonable. And I think, yeah, I think you guys would want to know about this guy if you haven't seen him. So. But yeah, so here's his Facebook page as well. And he's just posts, you know, lots of videos. Here's his orchard right here. I'm sure there's a lot of you guys that do know a lot about Harvey that are watching right now, but I just want to fill in everybody that has no idea what's going on. And he's just probably one of the more reputable sources for cuttings in the United States. And I think that's why I'm making a video about him right now, is that I want to just showcase him because I think he's just a slight above the rest. And you could see it in his page here. You could see it that he just has a lot. He just has put a lot of time into this. He's probably put a lot of money into it. He's been doing it for a decent amount of time. I think he just has more information about each variety that he's growing than most people. So I like that. You know, when you're buying something, you want to make sure that you know what you're buying. So if I were to ever sell anything, which I really have no plans to do what Harvey's doing right here, but if I were to sell something like this, I would want everybody to know as much as they could about my varieties that I'm selling. So like I would want to put a video out about it. I'd want to have like multiple pictures. I'd want to have maybe even something about, you know, how well it does here in the Northeast or how well it does in California. Maybe like some taste ratings. You know, I'm getting a little crazy with it, but I want to know as much about a particular variety before I buy it. So I do a lot of research to get to that point. But there's a couple of varieties that I want to let you guys know about that I think are worth looking at. Just some recommendations. If you guys can still hear me, let me know. Just say hello in chat, all right? Let me know how you guys are doing. But anyway, just a couple of varieties I want to let you guys know about, because in the fig community in general, there's just so many varieties to choose from, especially Harvey's list. Like, this is just a massive, massive list. It's kind of like you're sitting at dinner, you're at a restaurant, you got the menu in front of you, and you're just like, you know, I don't know what to eat because I want to eat all these different things and I don't know what to choose from. So I kind of like, this is kind of a big reason why I'm making this video, is to kind of talk about what everyone's buying, maybe steer you guys in a certain direction, maybe I want to talk really about some underrated varieties. One that I think is probably the most underrated variety on Harvey's list. And let's talk about that one first, because I'm so excited for this particular variety and nobody knows about it. It's like crazy. So this right here is a Palmata Hybrid. So this actually, that's what it's called. So at the USDA, in their collection, they name their figs with like DFIC and then a bunch of numbers depending on what number it is in the, I guess, the row or something, or the number of which it is in the collection. So Mark, we'll get to that in a second. But let me just talk about this particular fig real quick and I'll get to you. What's up, Mike? But anyway, so this particular fig, the Palmata Hybrid, it's a Ficus palmata cross between Ficus palmata and Ficus corica. Now, what we're used to eating, right? What we normally eat and what we think about when we think about figs and like growing figs is we think about Ficus corica. So like they're very closely related. They both have the same, they're in the Ficus family. I don't know if it's genus or family or phylum, whatever it is. But they're in the same family of species of plants. So they're very closely related. And I think Ficus palmata is actually very closely related to Ficus corica in terms of maybe, I don't know. I'm not an expert on it. I'm not a geneticist, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But the point I'm trying to make here is that Ficus palmata, I believe to be a superior species to Ficus corica. So we've been growing and cultivating and eating Ficus corica for thousands of years. And usually when you find Ficus palmata in the wild, I'm not even sure if it fruits, to be honest with you. I'm not even sure. If you do find it in the wild, usually if it does fruit, then there'll be like wild animals eating it, like birds and apes and all kinds of different mammals. So, you know, it's not really a common thing that we find, especially here in the United States. It's usually less hardy. So Ficus palmata, there's no way. It's probably doesn't survive to like 10 degrees, depending on the variety maybe. I'm not sure. But these hybrids, so like here's the interesting thing. The hybrids inherit some of the genes of corica. So corica is really hardy, and it produces really tasty fruit, right? Jerry, I'm not an enabler. Okay, I am. But anyway, so the palmata or the corica is then it's inheriting those genes. So say that you get a palmata that is a hybrid with the corica, but what does the palmata provide to the corica that's better, right? Because if corica is hardier and gives you more fruit, like gives you tastier fruit, what's the other side of that coin there? And I think the simple answer is that, and you ready for this? This is the coolest part. Ready? Is that Ficus palmata is FMB resistant, and it's nematode resistant, and it's more vigorous. So which of those three things is probably the coolest of the bunch? Well, root knot nematodes is a severe problem for many people in the south, the southeast part of the United States. There's root knot nematodes everywhere, and they find it very difficult in certain locations, maybe of their yard, or really just their whole yard, depending on where you live, of growing Ficus corica, because Ficus corica really doesn't do well with root knot nematodes. So like the whole reason why there's no commercial fig industry in Florida, because Florida is a very warm place, right? You can grow a lot of different things, a lot of tropical things. Hey, Zuni. So like these figs are just like, they're so hard to grow there. But if you can get Ficus palmata as a rootstock, which is nematode resistant, think about the applications there. Think about, and you're hearing it here first, okay? I want credit for this. No, but there actually is some studies, things I've read, and I want to do a separate video on that whole topic. But there's very few Palmata hybrids in existence, so this is like something we haven't really discussed, and I think it's worth talking about. And Harvey just so happens to have one for sale for only $5. So if you're somebody in like the Florida area, like Georgia, Alabama, the southeastern part of the United States, and you have a nematode problem and you have trouble just growing figs, or maybe you want to start a commercial orchard of figs in Florida, which is unheard of, it doesn't exist, then my suggestion to you would be to find a Ficus Palmata hybrid, put a bunch of them in the ground, grow them up, and then find varieties that you want to grow commercially. And then you're going to graft those onto the Ficus Palmata, and you should have, if everything is right here, so like it needs to be tested, but it has been tested by, I think LSU, oh God, I can't remember who it was, but I do have the studies and stuff I can bring up, and I want to bring that up in another video. But that would be amazing, wouldn't it? You can just have some kind of fig that's then resistant to nematodes. Another fig that's resistant to nematodes is Alma. So Alma is actually a Ficus corica Palmata hybrid. It's the only one that I think we knew of for quite some time. This one has been in existence for a long time, but this is now something new that's coming up in my world of figs that I didn't know before, and I think it's really interesting to me. So this is why I'm like showing you guys this particular fig right here, because I think it's so valuable. It doesn't have any FMV. If you were to look at Alma, for those of you who are growing Alma, is anyone growing Alma? Let me know if you guys are growing Alma, and tell me if you see any FMV on it. It's also super vigorous. They say that you can't, it's not really great for containers because you don't, it's so vigorous that it grows roots so quickly that it fills the container so quickly that it's not good for containers. So I just think that Ficus palmata, just to wrap this up real quick, is just a superior species of plant. So it's FMV resistant, nematode resistant, it's more vigorous, but the thing is the fruit quality isn't there. So if you can combine this, and I've already found, okay, so you want to get real technical with this stuff, okay? So here's my Google Drive here, and I've got a photo album of Ficus corica, Ficus palmata hybrids. And these are 3 figs that are just now being introduced into the United States. This is one that a friend of mine is growing in Virginia. We don't have a name for it yet. It comes from northern Iran. There's another fig right here, this giant fig. It usually it's a splitter though, unfortunate. But it's an Egyptian fig called Hava, and you can see how beautiful this fig is. It goes by many names, so you can see the leaf actually. Look at the leaf structure here. This is very typical of Ficus palmata. See how it has this like triangle leaf shape? It's usually one lobed for the most part. See this leaf right here? This is very typical of Ficus palmata. And this is a very special variety here in Egypt that is just insanely spread around. And this variety is just now coming to the US, and I'm really excited about it. Then there's another one here called Iraqi, and Iraqi's one we talked about on the Facebook groups. I think it was in California Figs. And this is another one that's really exciting, how it's a Ficus corica, Ficus palmata hybrid, which is really weird. Like look at the stems. You can see how interesting, and look at the leaf too. See how the leaf is like that same, almost like a heart shape, just like a V. So it's really interesting, and I don't know, I just think this is probably the most underrated fig that Harvey has. So I just went off on a rant. Let me talk to you guys for a little bit. Let's see. Zuni, I said hello. Plant mustard and drive the nematodes away. That's an interesting idea. Does that work? So you just have to plant tons of mustard underneath your trees, I guess. Jerry, I'd be interested to hear more about that. I don't know if a commercial fig farm in Florida is willing to go to that length. Personally, I think if you're going to have a commercial fig operation, you should have your figs on a particular rootstock. I've dealt with enough rootstocks now with figs that I think that there's some of them that are actually more beneficial than others. Yeah, Zuni, Alma's not that good. At least here, it's not. It doesn't taste that great, but doesn't it like have? It doesn't have FMV. It doesn't have. It has like extreme amounts of vigor, right? I've never actually grown it, but everyone I talk to about it tells me how ridiculously of a fast grower it is. You can look up all kinds of different things about Alma. How does FMV go from plant to plant? Well, usually it has something to do with you contaminating the plant. So if you have pruning shears and you cut something on, cut some plant material that has FMV, and then use those same pruning shears and then transfer them over to another plant and make a cut on that plant, you're going to transfer FMV. I mean, FMV really isn't a huge deal unless you're looking at like Icea Black UC Davis, which actually Harvey is, to go back to Harvey, he is offering it this year. And Harvey has, here's Icea Black right here, $35 a piece, which actually isn't too horrible. So what's interesting about Harvey, what he did was that he planted like 6 or 7 trees or something. So like here's his, he decided to plant a small orchard of fig trees for mother stock of Icea Black UC Davis. So this is one of those varieties that has like a extreme case of FMV, and he grafted them onto brown turkey. There's a post that he made somewhere over here that he grafted it on a brown turkey. I don't remember where it is, but you can ask him about it. So he's grafting all of his trees onto brown turkey. Not all of his trees, but the Icea Black, because you need to have like an increased vigor to kind of beat the FMV. And if you think about it, if Ficus palmata is so vigorous, like Alma is so vigorous, that would just make a great rootstock. I just feel like it's so exciting. But this is really the only variety that really has a huge problem with it. And Anton makes a perfect point. Most of the figs in California that come from UC Davis or USDA just have, all of them have FMV, so they are all infected. And to be honest with you, if you just give your trees enough nutrients, you're all right. It's going to outgrow it. I want to go back to make sure. So Mark asked me, I want to go back real quick. Mark asked me, where do I start? I'd like something pretty easy to grow and something tasty enough to make me want to keep it growing, or keep growing it. I'm from the Poconos. So Mark, you are in a similar climate to mine, except you're very cold. So I'm around Philadelphia. And Mark, I would recommend anything that's super early. So I did a previous video on my spreadsheet, very similar to this style, how I'm in front of you guys with my computer. And if you go to my cultivar list, which is in the description of every single video I've ever made, I have my spreadsheet in the description. And you go over here to the top, at the bottom here, there's different sheets. You can go down to the bottom and see the top figs for zones 5 through 7. And I believe you're probably in zone 6, but you might be in zone 5. It gets pretty cold in the Poconos, for those of you that don't know. But these are the varieties that I recommend for this climate. And a lot of these, some of them need a little bit of a longer season, like Italian 258 needs a little bit of a longer season. Borges Soda Grease, I believe, needs a little bit of a longer season. But a lot of these actually are quite early. And what I like to do with this particular spreadsheet is I like to recommend things that are early to mid-season, or they're rain resistant, or they're just tasty. So like they have to have 2 of the following, 2 of the 3 though. So some of these though are not early, is what I'm trying to say. You can't go wrong with Smith. It's my favorite fig that I've grown myself, that I've eaten from my own garden. Pastiliere is a really good fig. It's a really early season. It does split a little bit, but it's like an early season Black Madeira. I mean, it's just so good. Hardy Chicago, you can't beat it. I know Harvey sells Hardy Chicagos, different Hardy Chicago types. I believe he sells Pastiliere. He sells Smith. He sells LSU Champagne. LSU Champagne is my favorite honey fig for many reasons. Sultane, he sells, I believe, which is a mid-season variety. He sells Long D Out. He sells LSU Tiger, I think. Malta Black, Brooklyn White, Ronde de Bordeaux, Floria. Everything I just said, Mark, is really early and will do really well in the Poconos. So that's my words on that. What else? What am I missing here? So, do I have a Dotado fig? I don't have a Dotado fig, but if you were to ask me, there's a lot of figs out there that are very similar to Dotado. So, like Anton just said, Cadota is very similar. Peter's Honey is very similar. Pingo de Mel is very similar. So, Dotado is a very popular fig for those of you guys that don't know in Italy. Harvey sells Pingo de Mel. And Pingo de Mel is like the same thing as Dotado, I would think. It's very closely related, if not the same. And Pingo de Mel is like the fig in Portugal. Depending on where you live, I would grow this. If you live somewhere that's zone 8 or higher, I would grow this fig. If you live somewhere where I live and lower, I wouldn't grow this fig. I will say I had Cadota. And Cadota was just like a super productive fig. It's very good. I would say it's probably like an 8 out of 10. Problem is, I had an entire crop ruined by a 5-day stretch of rain. So we just, for some reason, had rain for 5 days in a row. And it completely ruined the figs. Like, I guess the skin wasn't... I don't know. It just kind of seeped into the fig and kind of ruined it, and made it watery, and it was so weird. Like it was very strange. The whole thing was ruined. So I don't grow this fig right now. One day I will, because if I ever have like trees underneath a greenhouse to protect them from the rain, I will grow this fig. Negroni and Violette De Bordeaux are the same. I mean, they're not exactly the same, but they're very, very similar to the point where if you were gonna grow both, I wouldn't recommend it. They do it in the Big Island with mustard. Oh, that's really good to know, Jerry. I guess mustard there, it was a perennial then. So it probably would be a perennial in Florida too. I don't know. I want Calderona too. That's on my list. That's definitely on my list. Calderona, not only it looks like a tasty fig, but there's somebody who is growing it in Belgium, and he doesn't give his figs a head start at all, Zuni. And that's one of them that he recommends out of all the Pons figs. So there's a few Pons figs that actually work, and there's other ones that are just kind of like, they need a longer season, you know? But they're all really tasty, those Pons figs. There's so many of them that just look incredible. It's just, can you ripen them in time? Thank you, Anton. Thank you for the compliment there. Insects transfer FMV. Yes, they do. So fig mites actually transfer FMV from one plant to the other. They're very microscopic. That's also, there's like some good evidence on that. So those are the two ways. And I would say most Ficus corica varieties out there that you'll find have fig mites on them. And they're just really difficult to see. They're hard to get rid of. Yeah, it is what it is. So I would just, if you're trying to avoid it from one plant to the other, don't use any pruning. Make sure you import your cuttings from wherever you're getting them from. Make sure they don't have FMV, which is like almost impossible. And then once you do that, then don't use your pruning shears to kind of, on many different plants. So hey, Mad Dog, what's up, man? Mad Dog, by the way, thank you for watching all my videos, because you're definitely one of my most frequent viewers. Additionally, I have a fig variety from Mount Etna, Sicily, 3,000 plus feet above sea level. Very tasty. If you want, I can send you a couple cuttings if you like. I would say thank you, but I can't really accept any new varieties. So if you've seen my, we're getting off track here, by the way. This is supposed to be a countdown for Harvey, but I want to just talk about a couple more varieties that I think are underrated. If you missed, you're just now joining us. We've been talking about how Harvey's having a sale coming up now in about an hour. It's supposed to go live, and we talked about his page a little bit. This is his fig page right here, which he's selling varieties. But there's a variety I already went over with you guys that I think is just severely underrated. It's called Palmata Hybrid, and I talked about that for a while, but I want to get into a couple more. But anyway, Mad Dog, I can't accept any more varieties. Look at my... so if you go to my spreadsheet again, and you look at what I'm grafting, you'll see every new variety that I'm grafting. And I have very little room. See these spots? These are all going to get filled once I buy all this stuff from Harvey. So I've basically dedicated like 40-some rootstock. Rootstock to varieties I just didn't want anymore. And yeah, I mean, the varieties I just didn't care for. I didn't think they performed well here, and I've selected them, and then I counted the amount of limbs I had on those varieties, and that's the amount of limbs I can then graft to create Frankenfigs, which is having multiple varieties of figs in the same rootstock, which I think is a great idea, especially if you're somebody who's like crazy like me and has many varieties of figs. So yeah, I would recommend it. I had bad fruit fly issues this year, and wasps and yellow jackets ate whole figs this year. Damn, Jerry. Well, I did too. Did I say sale? Yeah, I said sale. So Harvey's having a sale. That's tonight. That's why I'm making this video, because I want to talk. I want to just like see what everybody's buying, see what everybody's like doing, see what's interesting to people, and then maybe I could like, I wanted to like recommend a couple of varieties to people. I had some bad fruit fly issues though this year as well, and they are largely attracted to my raspberries and my blackberries, and it just so happened that I had I didn't even realize this, but this year I finally figured it out. In my backyard is I have large shade trees in my backyard. One of them actually is a cherry tree. It's like an ornamental cherry tree. It's not really a cherry. It's edible, I guess, but you don't really want to eat them too much. And yeah, I mean, those cherries then drop to the ground, and then the fruit flies find them. They're like attracted to them because the cherries drop to the ground, and they ferment, and that smell is then, they are attracted to that, and they come and infest themselves in the cherries, have babies and lay larvae, and then the larvae hatch, and then I have a whole new set of fruit flies infesting my figs, infesting my strawberries, infesting my raspberries, infesting my blackberries. It actually was a huge problem this year. I barely got any blackberries, I have to say. I got very few that were not infected, but my blackberry plants were huge, and there were so many blackberries that it was like the most upsetting thing. My raspberries were for the most part untouched. My figs were for the most part untouched until the very end of the season, and then my strawberries were pretty much untouched until the very end of the season. I have a strawberry called Mara de Bois. I totally recommend it to you guys. Tastes like a Concord grape. It ripened from June, actually from July. So I had a June-bearing strawberry that ripened from like the end of May till the end of June. And then I had a ever-bearing strawberry, Mara de Bois, which ripened from July to the end of the season until frost. They're also the most tastiest strawberry. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's incredible. Dude, you grow a blood orange? What I got right in front of me here, this is a Cara navel orange. And I'm actually growing a blood orange too. But I've been eating this. I kind of just was snacking on this a little bit earlier. This Cara navel orange. I guess you can kind of see the color. See how? You can't really tell, but this is This actually is quite pinkish. It's like a, it's not orange, like a typical navel orange. You live in North Jersey? Damn, dude. Wait. What's the name of this variety? And you're growing them in North Jersey, the citrus? Because I'm growing this couple citrus. I've had really good luck with lemons and limes and kumquats, but the larger fruits have just been horrible. Like, I have a blood orange. I have a Caracara navel orange tree. Oh, you have Tarraco. Okay, I went with Moro. There's another one called Sanguinelli. That's the one I thought you were talking about. You have to show me some pictures. You should show me some pictures of your, like, how you're growing the oranges, because I'm really interested to see. Like I said, my trees this year, my citrus trees are not doing well indoors this year. Your French door that faces south. So do you only grow them indoors all year, or do you put them outside in the summertime? I imagine you put them outside. I can't imagine you. Oh wow, dude. What's the size pot? How big is the pot? But I imagine you put them outside in the wintertime or in the summertime. I unfortunately have mine under lights, and I think they don't really like that too much, and I have been neglecting my trees inside because I'm not rooting any cuttings this year. So all the cuttings that you guys are about to buy and then I'm about to buy, I'm not rooting a single one. Every single thing is being put on these rootstock here. So I have like been neglecting all of my indoor potted plants this year. But I am about to start my seeds, which I should have started today, but I'm going to start some like really long-term, some things I can get out a little bit earlier this year, like a lot of like broccolis and stuff. And I want to kind of start them now to plant them in like maybe in like early April. Dude, Anton, I appreciate that. I did grow some lemons. The Meyer lemon was the only one I had trouble with because the Meyer lemon is so finicky. We're getting really off track on the purpose of this video, but I encourage you guys, put some more questions down. I want to hear, and I want to hear how you guys are doing. Let me know what you guys are doing. Say hello. Just comment. Let me see what you guys are up to. What are you guys gonna buy from this thing? Because that is, I guess, the purpose of this video. But yeah, I mean, the Meyer lemon is such a finicky variety for whatever reason, and I have had no luck with the Meyer lemon. But I did grow some limes, lemons, and kumquats. Like I said, they're much easier to grow for whatever reason. I think it's just less energy that has to be put into that particular fruit. Instead of an orange, it's so huge, it's so much more challenging. Well, let me show you guys another variety that I think is really worth our interest here. So a lot of you guys, it seems like Mark and Anton, Mad Dog, Jerry, I don't know where you live, but Zuni as well. You guys are all in the Northeast here. So if you got, you just need Harvey's entire farm. We all need a farm of figs, don't we? Anyway, guys. Can't find it on Harvey's page. Is anybody having this problem? Let me know if you guys are right. You're on Figaholics, Harvey's Facebook page, and what is this? List, and I hit continue reading. It opens it up in a new post, in a new thing, but it doesn't expand anymore. Does anybody have that? Now I can't. But anyway, I went on European Fig, and Vinny posted it, so I could see the list here, but it's pretty annoying. Oh, so Anton's in SoCal. Hey, Steve, what's up, man? UCR 187.25. The hell do you want 187.25? Whoops. What? Now, I don't remember the name. Is this Emerald Strawberry? Does anybody know? I think the actual name for 187.25, like there's an actual name. I think it's Emerald Strawberry. But Emerald Strawberry didn't strike me as that amazing. You're having the same problem on your desktop, Steve? Yeah. Why am I even typing this in here? Let's do 187, see if that comes up. Yeah, so I don't know what the name of this fig is. I forget. But isn't that weird though? So like if I wanted to open up this page on his Facebook and I just wanted to see just this post, it worked. Holy crap, it worked. I was having such a problem earlier. I don't understand it. So UCR 7, I believe, is let's see, what is the real name for this damn thing? It's driving me crazy. I think this is called Emerald Strawberry, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like Emerald Strawberry. Anyway, Steve, it was Steve, right, that wanted Emerald Strawberry? I would say actually, I think I can go to this and go to the Emerald Strawberry. Okay, it's not Emerald Strawberry. Yeah, what the hell is what's 187 then? I know it's a green fig. Isn't it a green fig with a red interior? Thermalopolis? You mean Thermalito? Thermalopolis. Thermopolis. Hey, you can call that fig whatever you want to call it, I guess. But I don't know. There's a lot of figs that probably taste similar-ish to Thermalito. Because it is a green skinned fig with a dark red interior, and it's strawberry teardrop. That's what it is. Strawberry teardrop. Let's find a damn photo of this thing. Why is strawberry teardrop not on this thing? Because Doug said he would carry it on his lifeboat. So strawberry teardrop is the one you're talking about? I don't know. Strawberry teardrop, not a fig you hear about a lot. And I kind of want to talk about some figs that we don't hear about a lot. I think that there's figs like strawberry or like Harvey sells JH Adriatic. I don't know what the name of this. You're gonna have to help me, Steve. Someone find out the real name of 187.25. Strawberry teardrop is 184.15 according to Test. Can we really trust Test? mutation of just interior, right? This one doesn't have a really great interior. Best fruits I had from my tree this year. Very well received. Somebody, this is like a very this is a pretty, I wouldn't say common, but this fig does float around. That people have grown it. No audio. How about now? Did I fix it? Oh shit. So it's cutting in and out. That's so weird. Maybe there's something wrong with my microphone. Anyway. Yeah, it needs a long season. I don't know, Steve. I feel like there's some better. Why that fig? I just want to know. Tell me why did you choose that one? What did you say about it? You said that it was supposed to replace the Calamirna. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really give you much information on it, Steve. All I can probably tell you is that there's probably better varieties for your climate. I would go, if I was Steve, right? No sound. Mother of God. Why is there no sound? I might have to fix this somehow. I may have to plug in a different. But keep letting me let me know, guys, if it cuts out again. I think we'll be all right. There's something wrong with the cord. You guys can hear me all right? All right, I think we'll be all right. You know, Doug is really tough to base your varieties off of because he lives in California. And, I mean, Harvey lives in California too, but his climate, the quality of the figs he had. Zuni can tell you. Zuni was there. Zuni got to try the figs. The quality of Doug's figs, Blue Malibu's figs, is like incredible. The bricks reading, if you were to take the bricks, I would say is probably it's way higher than anything I can grow. It's just way higher because you got way more heat there, less humidity. It's just, I know you got hot summers. Okay, so it's desert area. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. So Zuni's saying it reminds her of Battaglia. And Battaglia is pretty similar to like JH Adriatic. It's pretty similar to like Verte, you know, Icea Green. So like they're very similar figs, and I think that's why that no one gives a crap about 187.25. So that's why you don't hear about it. But hey, it could work for you. I don't know. Blue's opinion might matter. I don't know. But you can hear me? So yeah, I would just say that there's probably many other figs that Blue loves, and someone in your climate, Steve, would probably love. So let's look around for Steve here, right? If Steve lives in Western Washington, I think he said. I know he lives in like the Washington area. South Central, Western Washington. Now, what do I say? South Central, so it's like a desert? Really? Wow, that's incredible. Anyway, if I lived in a really like Borgia Soaked Grease is such a great variety. What else is amazing? I mean, you're gonna have a lot of figs, Steve, that do really well where you live. For the price, you're gonna try it. All right. Well, how much room do you got? So do you got like? You got much more room to try different figs, or you just were like, I just want one fig just for now? he doesn't have 400 varieties. He just has a lot of trees. So like the wasps have a lot to do with it, but I think it's actually largely due to the heat and the humidity. Because the heat is really and the sun. So the sun actually increases the photosynthesis of the plant. The sun's stronger in California than it is in Pennsylvania, or even Washington. So the sun's stronger there. You get more hours of light. You have more photosynthesis. The more photosynthesis, the more the plant has the opportunity to produce sugar. So that's what the plants do. They produce sugars, and that sugar then goes into the fruits, increasing the bricks. So the sunlight has a lot to do with it. The sun has, or the heat has a lot to do with it. All right, so Steve lives in a really nice place for figs. Holy crap! And you got a lot of room. I mean, you can go crazy with this. Literally, you can grow almost any fig on this list. I mean, you don't have as super long of a season as somebody in California. But like Ram just said, you have 31 growing day hours, or growing day degrees hours. 3,100 is pretty good. That means you can grow probably about 75 to 80% of figs, I would say. I'm not... until I see somebody say something really amazing about a particular variety, I'm not one to go out and try it myself. Although that's me. I'm pretty short on space. I would say though that, oh right, did we ever figure out the name for 18725? Did we like the actual name for the fig? Dude, take Zuni's advice. Grow all of them. We're enablers here, right, Jerry? No, I mean, you can grow a lot of figs. It's really tough to say what somebody in California should or shouldn't grow, because a lot of the figs do well there. I would go off of flavor. So, Steve, I would go to my spreadsheet, go to my flavor groupings here, figure out where on this list where your figs are. So like, do you have, I'm assuming you have one of each for like one of each type. I don't really know. Ram has like a really cool spreadsheet that our figs had started, and Ram was a big part of it. And they started a spreadsheet that calculated your growing degree days, I believe it is, Ram, right? Per location. You can look this up. You can find out your growing degrees and figure out where these figs actually ripen in your season. It's really actually a great spreadsheet. It's amazing. So, Ram, you should link that spreadsheet in the chat. I think you can link something. I'm not sure. But, Steve, to go back to you real quick, I would find one of them that just sits in one of these categories that you don't have. So, like, you have a sugar fig, which is kind of like brown turkey or Celeste, improved Celeste, Brunswick. I don't recommend Brunswick or brown turkey, but I would recommend improved Celeste. It's very early. It's a very sweet fig. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10 or something. It's either a 7 or an 8 out of 10, and it's just very reliable here. There's also honey figs. I don't know, Steve, you've got to have... Your very favorite fig that you grow is Holier. I think it's actually called Holier. Is that the pronunciation of it? But Holier, just to convey my information here, is a very sweet fig, isn't it, Steve? So if I'm getting this right, you really like the sweet stuff. So if you really like the sweet stuff, I wouldn't grow berry figs. I would grow honeyberry figs, honey figs, or some sugar figs, because some sugar figs, like Improved Celeste, have honey in them. Damn. Alright, I'll have to find the spreadsheet, Ram. Yeah, I mean, you can have a lot of fig trees in a very small space, assuming you prune them. I have my figs in my front yard and my backyard only 5 feet apart. And that's only because I'm going to keep them relatively small, and it's so cold here that they don't really get that big. Yeah, so weather underground is the calculator for the growing degree days. So Steve has like the perfect climate for growing figs. Really, I would just figure out which one fits in what category. Mark, if you were to just starting out, what 3 cuttings or trees would you start out with and why? Well, if I lived in the Poconos and I wanted to grow figs and I can only have 3 of them, I would choose Lsu Champagne for a honey fig. I would choose Improved Celeste as a sugar fig. And I would probably choose Hardy Chicago as a berry... Hardy Chicago or Ronde de Bordeaux as a berry fig. And then once you get those 3 categories filled out, you're going to figure out which one of those 3 flavors you like the most. And then you can go from there. So if you really like the honey figs, you're probably going to like the honeyberry figs. Or if you really like the berry figs, you're probably going to like the honeyberry figs. If you like sugar figs, you're probably going to like the light berry figs. So, you know, that's what I would suggest. Ronde de Bordeaux, Pastilieri is another great berry fig. Hardy Chicago, another great berry fig. So those are the berries. Lsu Champagne performs the best for me here so far at my honey figs. And LSU Improved Celeste performs the best here of the sugar figs. I could also recommend Floria, which is somewhat of a sugar fig. You can't go wrong with those. I hope that answers your question. Okay, so Brian, he does have champagne on his list. He doesn't have it on this site yet because he needs to update this page. So we're just constantly, as a group, are refreshing this page to figure out when it's going to go live. But if you go to his listing, he's made a listing on his Facebook page. You'll see on here it's called Champagne. It's new, so he's just now adding champagne to his list. It's only $5 a cutting. It's a pretty common fig, so $5 is not too bad for it. So the thing I like about LSU Champagne is that LSU Champagne, I can show you guys a photo of it. Or I can go to my, I don't know. Where's an easy place to find a photo? Ignore my family members and stuff and random photos of me. And my girlfriend. So LSU Champagne. Here's the Fig Fest we went to. I got some photos here. Here's my friend Devin, just running in front of the camera. Let's see. LSU Champagne. LSU Champagne. Okay, so this right here is a plate of figs, which I really recommend for this area. You have Smith right here, which is a honeyberry fig. You have LSU Champagne, which is a honey fig. And then you have right here, this is Azores Dark, which is also a honeyberry fig. In times of high heat, in the warmest part of our season, it produces honey at the eye pretty consistently. And then you got, this is Violette De Bordeaux. If you look right here, it actually has mold on it. Right here, it also has mold where the skin cracked because the skin cracks, and for whatever reason, the water sits in here, and it actually creates mold. So, not the best, but this variety does exceptionally well, Violette de Bordeaux. This is my plate of figs that I would recommend to anybody. I have them opened up, though, I think, on a plate of figs. This is the Breba I had of Canadria. This fig was incredible, Canadria. particularly the Brava. Where is the damn Lsu Champagne opened up? I might not have it, guys. I might have to go. You have to go back to one of my videos and look for it because I did a video on it. Okay, so here it is right here. It's a very blurry, bad picture, but this is Lsu Champagne. See how the interior is yellow and amber? The nice thing about Lsu Champagne, and let's see if Harvey has a photo of it. He probably does. Yeah, so the nice thing about this fig to me is that when this thing ripens and when it starts to swell, so it's hard, right? Picture the fig as it's hard, it's green. Once it starts to swell and ripen and get larger and get softer, from that point forward until it's perfectly ripe is like 3 to 5 days. It's such a short window that this fig has to hang for. So that's the reason why I like it so much, is because it only hangs for 3 to 5 days, which means you only have like pest pressure for 3 to 5 days. You only have critter pressure like birds and squirrels and stuff for 3 to 5 days. It's also a green yellow fig, so the birds don't see it. It's just a really good, it's just a good tasting fig too. It's early. I don't know the hardiness though, so I wouldn't put the thing in the ground without consulting somebody on the hardiness. Yeah, we're probably going to crash the server, if I had to guess. Um, 10 degrees is pretty cold for certain varieties, but I've had varieties outside right now in the ground that have survived 0 degrees right now. It went down to, I think, -1 here. The weather station is like a mile away. It's pretty close, but then again, a mile compared to somewhere else, the weather is pretty significantly different. But it gets down here at 0. What's up, Matt? There is some trouble in Chinatown, but anyway, 0 degrees. They survive 0 degrees. I have minimal dieback on some of my trees. The wind actually has desiccated some of them, but the hardiness of them has really been no problem. And what's real nice, actually I'm going to put a video out on that very subject, but then again, those are the hardiest of varieties for the most part. Hello, Deborah. Welcome from Tennessee. My grandmother was born and raised in Tennessee. She's like 81 now, I think, 80 years old, and she still has her accent. And she moved away from Tennessee when she was like 19 years old. In fact, my grandfather met my grandmother, and I think they only spent like 2 or 3 weeks together, and then she moved away to Philadelphia with him. It was just incredible how quick people moved back then. Yeah, I mean, will you be able to read when the live chat when this isn't live? Yes, you will. So you can go back and watch the video, and you'll be able to see the chat on the side of the video. Mark. So we have 30 minutes left, but then again, who knows exactly if it's going to be 30 minutes. You guys could be stuck with me for like another hour. Oh my god, right? What else do we want to talk about? What are you guys buying? Nobody is... only had one person say what you guys are actually buying. Steve was brave enough to do it. Steve, by the way, you're right about Smith. It's not that hardy. You might be right about that. You might be right about that, Matt. But I think I can drag the chat into the video. But Mark, if it's not in the video, the chat, just send me a message or comment down below, and I'll try to answer whatever it is that you needed answering. Regato de Salento by Farah. Now, Matt, is that the Paulo Bologna version? Oh, hey. Dude, I know. Harvey's here. So, I don't really know, Matt, if that's the Paulo version. Maybe Harvey can answer it for us. But that's a really great fig. I'm really happy that Harvey has that one available for us. Emblem's purple. Holy shit. I love... that fig has gotten so much good news behind it. I will say, though, Doug, so Blue Malibu, he did tell me that it's just very sweet, so there's no acidity to it. So if anyone out there is looking for a very acidic fig, Emblem's purple apparently isn't acidic. I don't know how true that is. I told you on Facebook. What? What are you saying, Mike? Black Madeira, Champagne, Floria, Nero 600M, Panache, Smith, Yellow Longneck. They're all really good choices, especially for a colder climate. Black Madeira needs a longer season. Brian, where are you from again? I think you mentioned that previously. So yeah, RDS means Regato del Salento. Flanders. Hey, Mike, I'm trying Flanders here myself, and I think it really has some potential. People have said that it doesn't do well here, but I think if I can give it a head start, like with my greenhouse, I think it is really going to be a worthwhile fig. It seems like it's a honey fig. It has a lot of sweetness to it and a lot of honey inside. You got rid of Flanders? Anyway, I heard that Flanders, tell me if I'm right about this, Harvey, but I heard that John Verdict, he says that it has a tropical flavor to it. Do you get any of that in Flanders? Because that's what I'm really trying to find out. I'm growing Flanders for that exact purpose, because I had a hative or native d'Argenteuil, whichever one you want to call it. I don't know what the actual spelling is on it. But it actually had a pineapple tropical flavor to it. It was really incredible, that fig. You thought it was blah. Alright, well, that's really disappointing. What's interesting... Oh, Ram thinks it's blah, too. Mike's like, damn it. Well, I guess I'll just try another different fig, Mike. Where does I don't think, who was it that told me what there's the chat's going too fast. Okay, so Brian, you got some nice selections there. 7B, that's some nice selections. I have to say. Ronde de Bordeaux, Pastilieri, two other good ones that Harvey has. I also would recommend for people in shorter season climates, my friend Jamie, she recommends Negra d'Age. And Negra d'Age is like a really interesting berry flavor, she says. And it actually has lots of honey in it, too. So it's a honey berry fig. And she also says that it ripens without a head start, which is really cool. What does Panache taste like? Strawberry jam. Yeah, Harvey, there's something actually wrong with the Facebook page, and I don't know if it's me or if it's the page or Facebook or what. But if I go to your homepage here and I look at the list, this thing's really slow with the live stream. Negra d'Agda. Interesting. But if I go to the list, Harvey, and I hit the continue reading to see the whole list, oh, it works now. Alright, so I'm just crazy for a very short period of time. Okay. That's good to know. Alright, so we can get rid of that tab. So I think Panache is really good. The correct spelling's hative? Okay, good, good. I'll make note of that in my spreadsheet. So, the Col de Dom family, I don't know if they all have the same taste. I haven't tasted them all yet, but I have had Col de Dom Blanc. Col de Dom Blanc is an incredibly good tasting fig. My friend Raphael kind of says it has like a winey taste to it. Like it has like a really nice, like a fine wine kind of flavor. I don't know how to exactly describe it, but it's a really good fig. Like all the Col de Doms have a really interesting taste profile. What else we got going on here? Click slow mode. It's not that fast. It's just I can't read this quick. I talk too much about each individual thing. So Flanders, I bet, would probably do. I think Doug Blue Malibu loves Flanders actually, and he's also in California. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong on that. Another one that a friend of mine really recommends for people that are here in Zone 7 or below. He recommends Italian 376. So Italian 376 is kind of been overshadowed by Italian 258 because Italian 258 is such a great fig that no one really talks about Italian 376. And my friend in Virginia, he says it doesn't need a head start. He says it's not the tastiest of figs, but if you're looking for another fig that does well here, Italian 376. I feel like we're distracting Harvey with this. Someone just yell at Harvey. We need to just get him to get this page up and running. I'm sure he wants to get up and running too. He probably wants some sleep. Really, you never liked LSU Purple? That's one that I'm going to order from Harvey, actually, is LSU Purple. For years, there's been such debate about LSU Purple. And my friend in, my friend in Virginia is recommending LSU Purple to me. For like just another reliable variety here in Zone 7. Oh hey, it's Jamie. Jamie, how you doing? I was just telling everybody. Well, actually, I didn't get to it, but I was about to talk about some Portuguese figs. We talked about Pingo de Mel. We talked about what other fig did we talk about, guys? I don't remember on Harvey's list. But there's a new one he's got. It's called where is it? It's this guy right here. So, Jamie, I'm gonna let you tell us how to pronunciate that fig. But Jamie highly recommends this fig. I asked him in an email earlier today. And this is one of those Portuguese figs that's new on Harvey's list that I'm going to get 100%. There's another one that you recommended to me. What was it called, Jamie? Oh, Figo Cefeño Escuro. This guy. So Jamie also recommended this fig to me as well as a Portuguese variety. For those of you that don't know, Jamie is in Portugal. He has quite a large collection of Portuguese figs. He's very good friends with Lampo, which is probably the largest collector of Portuguese figs. So there we go. We got some more people telling us what they're getting here. So we got Jenny who's saying she wants to grow a Barbera Branca. That's another really good Portuguese fig. I'm growing that one myself. I still haven't gotten fruit yet, but I almost did last year. I'm really excited to try it. Black Beauty 10. Oh my god. That one has a huge reputation. Called Aronia. I said this previously in this video, in this live stream. that Calderona, there's a grower in Belgium who doesn't give his figs a head start. He's basically a cold season grower, and Calderona is one of the few Pons varieties that actually works for him with no head start. Planera is another one that works for him actually not for him, but for I believe Raphael is the one who grows it with no head start. Planera is another really good Pons fig. So you got Italian 376, Cora Black. Cora Black is a Bass fig, I believe, right, Harvey? And Bass is selling Cora Black for $90 a plant on his website right now. I don't know if he has any in stock, but that's what he sells it for. And Harvey's giving it to us, I think, for $15 a cutting. Which Lampira are you getting, Jenny? And where do you live? Because a lot of these figs are incredible. But I just hope you have a long season for them, or a greenhouse. Okay, so Emmeline's purple is not very sweet, but rich. So that's what I would consider as rich, though. Like if it's, well, I guess it depends on your definition of rich, but usually rich is like an excess of something. So rich to me would be like an excess. You could say that if it's very sweet, it has an excess of sweetness. I wonder, what's up? We're talking about, oh, dude. I wonder has got to be Tony. It's got to be. If I wonder is not Tony, he's been just going off on this Fibonacci Nero fig for like weeks now. It's 5:50, yeah, 5:44, but hey man, he's probably been working non-stop pruning his trees. In my quest to complete my collection of Portuguese figs, I could use Mel do Agave. It seems it's only a bigger Pingo de Mel, but I would like to confirm that. Interesting. Jamie, could you tell us all about Pingo de Mel and kind of what it's used for commercially in Portugal? I believe Pingo de Mel is like the Portuguese version of Dotato is in Italy. But there's many strains of it, so they're all slightly different than each other. Backyard Gardener says, what is the one bucket list fig? I don't know what the one bucket list fig is. That is like an ever-changing list because every like week or month there's a new fig that comes out and you're like, whoa, this one looks incredible. I would say though the best advice I could give you is my favorite fig that I've grown myself, that I've eaten from my own trees, is Smith. And I don't think you can go wrong with Smith. I think it's going to taste good in every single climate. As far as I've seen, everybody enjoys Smith. There's also Black Madeira, which is the best fig I've ever eaten. That was grown by Doug, Blue Malibu in California. That fig alone raised the bar. So I didn't know what a 10 was before I ate that fig. That's not necessarily to say. I've had some Black Madeiras that I've homegrown, and I've also had a Black Madeira that Raphael gave me. And I think that Smith is up there with it, and Smith might be better, in my opinion. I'm not sure yet. Because the berry flavor on the Black Madeira that Doug gave me was out of this world. Yeah, Steve, I don't know how long you're ripening your figs for, but maybe you just haven't ripened it long enough. It seems like a fig that I know this guy in Frozen Joe, that's his name, Frozen Joe in Arizona, he grows LSU Purple, and he quite likes it. He doesn't think it's his favorite fig, the tastiest fig, but he has a very specific video on LSU Purple about picking it, like in the right stage of ripeness. He says, I specifically remember him saying that if he Doesn't pick it early. If he picks it too early, it doesn't taste good at all, and he doesn't like it. Wow, Harvey, you're gonna visit Lampo. That is awesome. I would like to. I'm gonna travel at some point this summer, and I would love to go to Europe and go on like a tour of figs in Europe, and do some kind of video and see all kinds of different growers. You know, maybe I'll visit someone in Portugal, someone in Spain, like Pons. We can go to like Italy and go see Paulo. I mean, there's even Ciro, Mickey. I mean, they all have massive collections, and it would be just be Thierry in France, just be or Baud to be incredible. To go and visit them. You're in Arizona, so it's already spring here. Well, Jenny, you can grow pretty much any fig you want, and those are damn good. That's a damn good choice. That's a really good list. Let me scroll back up and see it. Libera Branca, Black Beauty 10, Calderona. I mean, those three alone. Codio Verdal, if that's how you say it, Jamie. Melons Purple, Falls Gold. I-376, Cora Black, Lampira. Which Lampira? Lampira Preta only produces Breva, I believe, unless you pollinate it. Which isn't bad. It's a nice, I guess it would be an early season fig for you. But Lampira Prush from Prush Park is a really good fig. Morocco Alter 23. Parrot Jaw Ramada, another great fig. Sakura Black. I've seen amazing photos of Sakura Black. I actually grafted Sakura Black onto a 20-gallon rootstock this year. That's how good I believe Sakura Black to be. But we'll see how well it does in this climate. Yellow Longneck, a great fig. It's huge. Regato del Salento, Hated de Argentile, Genovese Nero. I mean, you're just getting all the good figs. You really are. White Madeira, Sanguinato. You really are. Rich equals intense berry flavor. That's good to know. So what fig did he say was rich, intense berry flavor? Was that Flanders was he talking about? Oh, was it LSU? No. Yeah. Hative de Argentile is HDA test, and that actually had a tropical flavor for me. I only got one fig though, so we'll see if that holds up. But I do know another grower that said the same thing. Actually, two growers I think are in agreement with that statement. One in California. I don't remember where the other one is. The Sofeños are great. Good to know. So you have a greenhouse and you're in Zone 9B. Jesus. Rich equals intense berry flavor. Harvey's going to the sidelines, usually mid-August through September. That's a really good question, Ram. I want to know the same thing. So tests, I would say Black Madeira and Preto, a lot of people agree that they're very similar, almost the same. Italian 258, I know is Matt's favorite fig. Caprified Black Madeira was amazing. It was amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Anyone in Zone 7A have some Smith cuttings for sale? Yes. There is somebody selling Smith right now. His name is Harvey. That's what this video is about. We didn't go back to it, but in the very beginning of this video, we talked about Harvey and his cuttings and how cheap they are, how great quality they are, and we're very thankful to Harvey for doing this for us every year. And Harvey has a page here, Figaholics.com. You go to his cutting page. So here's Figaholics.com. Go to the cuttings page. It's going to update soon, and he's going to make this go live, and then you can then buy Smith. So Smith's all the way down here with the S's, and here it is. So you can't go wrong with Smith, seriously. I can't say it enough. Several strains of Pingo de Mel, the most cultivated fig in Portugal. It's a pure honey fig with more complex flavor in some strains. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it reminds me very much so of my Cadota when I grew it. The problem with my Cadota, Jamie, was that Cadota got ruined by a 5-day stretch of rain. We had rain for 5 days straight, and it seemed like it had just happened. It really did just happen as they were all swelling. They all kind of were swelling at the same time. And I think the rain actually got into the fig somehow. Like the fig skin didn't just create enough of a barrier, and it absorbed all the moisture, and it ruined them, and they never really ripened. They never really ripened perfectly. Harvey has his page updated. Am I reading that right? It's live? Or did you just have all the varieties now that you're offering? What's going on here? I've given my LSU Purple lots of time to ripen, and it still never tastes good. I'd love to pick Hardy Chicagos and Vertes when they're shriveling up and concentrated, when they have a concentrated taste, says Steve. So you, Steve, really like the berry figs. Dude, I am 20 rows of chat behind that. Yeah, these varieties aren't going anywhere. Harvey, you usually have this open until the end of March sometime. So I would say though that some of the varieties that are of less supply, correct, Harvey? You'll then, if you're running out of supply, you then don't let anyone else buy them. So there's some varieties out there you're gonna want to jump on now, rather than wait till later. Yeah. Okay. So, Jamie says that Safeños are a bit earlier than Violetta, but they need a long growing season as well. Anton's driving home to get the orders. He's speeding home. He's driving like 200 miles an hour. I just picture him. And he's yelling at traffic. Another favorite for Steve is Stella. Steve, it just seems like you really like the berry figs, to be honest. Burning buying cycles. Steve, if you like Stella and what was the other one you liked? Hardy Chicago, and there was one other one. Oh, Verte. Yeah, I would say you're gonna love the Col de Dames. Do you grow those? Harvey, I do want to ask you about your Mega Celeste because it looks incredible. Has anyone seen this fig before? This is a fig that is like never talked about because Herman had found it, and he found it at a local Lowe's. He brought the fig plant home. He fruited it. It was supposed to be Celeste, I think. but it wasn't a Celeste. It was a larger Celeste. And he didn't like it. He didn't. Well, he liked the fig. He just didn't think that it did well here because it was ruined. It was spoiled and split in the rain. And that may be true, but this fig does look incredible. I mean, it's got to be worth something. Oh, it's live. Ah! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Alright, so there we go. It's live. I'll probably be talking to myself for the next 30 minutes. But, wow. We're live, guys. We're in. We can order some stuff. But, yeah. I would suggest, probably, well, Harvey will advise reading these directions carefully, but I would read this before you guys place your orders. And, whoa, you have one that tastes like a combination of coconut and marshmallow? Get the hell out of here. So, yeah, back to Mega Celeste real quick. I just think this variety seems incredible that we don't hear about, and I'm going to try it. I'm going to see. I think Harvey, I mean, not Harvey, I think Herman's probably correct. It doesn't do well. It splits in the rain and stuff, but it looks too good not to try it. So I'm going to go against his experience and just do it. Nick is here. What's up, Nick? And Nick asks, how long have I been growing figs for? I think this is going to be my 4th summer coming up now. So I've been growing figs, I guess. I started this time. I ordered some plants when I first started. I ordered some plants from Wellspring's Gardens. Yeah, so you've had a couple of them spoil, but you get some really nice figs if you watch them closely. Yeah, that's my opinion too. I feel like it could work here. We just need to, maybe, don't water it too much. Be careful of over watering it, and I mean, I'm gonna give it a head start. So I'm gonna probably avoid October and September with Mega Celeste. So if I can avoid my October here, it should do all right. Which ones did I order from Wellspring? I don't recommend ordering from Wellspring anymore, but I did order from the very beginning. I ordered like a magnolia, a brown turkey, and I don't know, one other. Oh, it was a Texas Everbearing. They're all pretty much the same fig, which is kind of funny. I think one of them was mislabeled. I'm sure none of them are right. But I used that brown turkey rootstock as rootstock. I used the Texas Everbearing as rootstock. I used the magnolia as rootstock. So they're all rootstock right now and doing pretty well. So even though you grow something you don't necessarily like Steve, you don't like LSU purple, well, there you go. Use it as rootstock. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go order some stuff before this sale goes away, and I can't get some of the varieties I want. I'm just kidding. 17 orders already in less than 5 minutes. Yeah, I should get my order in, to be honest with you. Randy, what's up, man? Just stumbled on my live stream. How many acres of figs do you have? I don't have any acres. I live on less than an acre. I live on I think it's a quarter of an acre. I don't have much land. But then again, someone like Matt would be like, hey, you have tons of land. I live in the city. Randy, how's everything going, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to grow wellspring plants as rootstock, it's not a horrible idea. Usually they're pretty vigorous. Yeah, I don't know how I pack it in all either. I'm at my limit now. If you've seen my videos from this year, I'm totally at my limit. I can't do anything about it. So everything I'm doing now, Randy, you go to my spreadsheet, you can see all the rootstock I've selected. So these are all varieties I wanted to get rid of. And I counted the amount of limbs, and I have those limbs to then graft onto. So I'm not rooting a single thing. Damn, dude. Where can you get or find the black Madeira? Well, on Harvey's website, Figaholics.com, he's selling it right now for $15 a piece per cutting, which isn't bad. Yeah, I need to get more land. I will have more land. That's the plan. Is that lots of stuff are in containers right now, and then once I move out, we'll get some more land and plant everything in the ground. For the figs, I'm planning to have some kind of high tunnel. That way I can still grow the later varieties. Yeah, I don't know if I want to leave where I live, Randy. I know you were telling me about this before, is that you can get land really cheap in the south. But, you know, it is what it is. I feel like I'm gonna... You can't get married and buy land. Well, it's one or the other. Well, my girlfriend actually is a big fan of what I do. She loves to grow things. She loves to grow food. And she's like just on board as much as I am with this stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on your partner. Yeah, I would like to really start some kind of orchard and sell different things. Sell fruit, you know? Let's see, what the hell am I ordering here? Might as well just do it right now while you guys are here. A lot of stuff I want to try this year. So, Black Greek Marius, I want to try this. It's a hardy Chicago type. Just looks incredible, really. I'm trying a whole bunch of hardy Chicago types because I think there's a slight genetic difference among them that I'm aiming to find out. And you can see that here. So, Novid's Unknown Dark Greek, Enola Italian #1, Casariani, Red Lebanese Becau, Black Greek Marius. I noticed the slight genetic difference with my Malta Black and my Azores Dark. They are hardy Chicago types. But that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm doing like a Frankenfig of different hardy Chicago types to see really what the differences are with them. So I believe there's Blavetta Campos. That's one that I want. Bordesat Blanca Negra. That's a Pons fig that I think might be quite early here. It might be like a mid-season fig here. I'm hoping. Same thing with Bordesat Rosa. It might be a mid-season fig here. That's the goal. We got, let's see what else. Calderona. Yes, please. Thank you, Harvey. Capole Curt Negra. I already got cuttings for that. Champagne I have. I have all the Col de Dames for the most part. Codio Verdal. I already added. De La Gloria, I believe, is one that I'm going to add. Yep, to my grafting list. So this is one that I want to grow. I think it's a later season Pons fig. With my greenhouse, I could make it work here. I already have De La Plata, I have De La Reina, I have De La Roca, I have De La Senora. I have Del San Juan Gran. I have Del Zermatans is a Pons Fig. That looks like it could do well here, I believe. I'm not mistaken on that. So I'm going to add that one. The Palmata Hybrid, I talked to you guys about the Palmata Hybrids in the beginning of this video, the beginning of the live stream. So if you want to go back and watch what I said about the Palmata Hybrids, could be a game changer for somebody trying to grow an orchard, a commercial orchard in Florida. You could do it with this as rootstock. I believe that. You definitely would want to try it first, but like get Alma and get this Palmata Hybrid and try that. Emmeline's Easton Purple is a really good fig too. I'm really excited to try that. Emmeline's Purple I already have. Encanto is one that I want to try. Encanto looks really good. It's a seedling from John's farm in San Diego. John Verdict. Nobody talks about this fig, but it looks really good. It looks really tasty. I feel like it could be a winner here, and I want to find that out. Let's see. What else? Figo Cefeño Escuro, for sure. Floria, another good fig here. I don't know anything about this fig, but what is this? Okay, this is not the fig I'm thinking about. This is an interesting fig right here. I really wish we had more information on these, you know? I wish a lot of you guys would grow this stuff besides Harvey, you know, and then come back a year later or 2 years later and post something about it somewhere so that we can read about it, you know? Galicia Negra I have, Genovese Nero AF, I have Italian 258, which I believe to be very similar. Of the GM figs, Georgie found some really interesting figs. I'm growing GM 175, GM 25, GM 125 I want to grow, GM 149A I want to grow, GM 172 I want to grow. Green Kalamata looks incredible, Harvey. I hope this one turns out to be common. Gris Olivet I found from somebody else this year, along with Gris de Saint Jean. Those are two amazing French figs that I think are very underrated, that many people don't have or don't really pay attention to enough. We have Hative de Argentile, which I have, but I want to graft this year. I want to see if grafting Hative de Argentile will help it in any way, because they say that Hative de Argentile, a couple people have said that it doesn't really have a strong root system. I haven't really seen that yet so far, but it did drop a couple figs, and that's the main thing that people are saying about Hative de Argentile, is that in its like first year it drops a few figs, or its first couple years. So I want to see if I graft it, how that's going to affect its droppage, if it's going to change that or not. Ego Prush, I already got cuttings for this one. It's another one I want to try out this year. This fig looks incredible. Icea Black, I can't afford it. 376, we're adding this year. Cora Black, I'm unsure if I want to try this, because it looks good. Bass is selling it for a high price, but Bass is the only one that is growing it, so I don't know really how good it is. I want to say yes, but I don't have many limbs left to graft onto. Lampira Prush, another one that's amazing. Lampira Preta, amazing for Breba. La Rodex is a English brown turkey. I recommend English brown turkeys for this area of the world, for like zone 7. Lebanese Black Purple, I'm also growing this one. Is this the Nick Gardens one, Harvey? I'm not sure. But if this is the Nick Gardens one, I'm growing this one. This Lebanese Black from Little John I'm interested in too. I just don't know. I don't have enough information on it yet to pull the trigger. Long the out, a must-have fig in our climate. LSU Purple, I'm going to grow it. We're going to see what the deal is for myself. Maltese Beauty I have. Maltese Falcon I have in the ground. Hopefully it fruits. It hasn't fruited for me yet. It's very stubborn, that tree. Hey Harvey, if you could work on getting Manresa, but from there's a Manresa from the Lorc Major. Oh, you bought it from Nick? Good. It seems like a really nice fig, Harvey. Did you taste it? I think you got a photo of it. Oh, you don't have a photo of it, but maybe you've tasted it. Okay, so you picked them and you thought they were of good quality. Gotcha. It looks like a really good fig. I'm really excited to try it this year. My friend Bishop in Michigan, he has tried it, and he said it was really good. So if Bishop in Michigan thinks it's pretty good, then I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it. What am I looking at? Oh, yeah, the Manresa from Lsu Champagne. I'm really looking for that one. Let me type it to you. There's two different Manresas out there. So that's one I'm really interested in. Let's see here. What else do I have to add to this list? Martinenca Ramada, I have that. Surprisingly, I thought my tree was mislabeled, but still some debate if it is mislabeled or not. But an incredible fig. Even the non-Ramada version of Martinenca, which I do have for sure, is an incredible fig. Even here. Mavra Basilica Sica, Mavra Sica, I hear is very good. Mega Celeste, we're going to try it. Navids, we're already trying it. Negra D'Age, we got that one from Jamie. It was very nice of her. Noir de Barbentane. It's supposed to be better than Borges Saut Noir, according to Bode, but I don't know if there's any proof on that yet. They say that it's a little earlier and a little bit more rain resistant than Borges Saut Noir. But I don't know if that's been proven yet, and I'm really interested to find out for my own tree. I've got Panache. So many figs, Harvey. Parajal Ramada, I can't afford it. I want it though, for sure. Pastilliere. At some point in time, I'm going to have 10 trees of that tree. If I still live where I live, in this area, I'm going to have 10 of those. Because I think that fig is that good. Patlikin, by the way, Harvey, looks really good. I saw a photo of this. Your photo here. It just looks very interesting. And I almost thought... I'm very tempted to buy it. If you can convince me to grow this, I would grow it. There's raisin and cherry, he says, to describe this fig. It looks very interesting. Look how dark the interior is. It's like a brown. Am I still streaming right now? I don't hear anybody. Yeah, I know, dude. We just are horrible at pronouncing these names. It's crazy. Anyway, Patlikin, I want to grow that, but I just wish there was a little bit more information on it. Cool, guys. Glad you guys can hear me. Pingo de Mel, at some point in the future, I'm going to grow that fig. I am growing Planera. Princessa is a favorite of Pond's, like Harvey says. I think this fig might do well commercially if I could be wrong on that. This might be a decent fig to try. Yeah, it's a pretty large fig. Let's see, what else we got here? Red Libya, I'm growing that. Also supposed to be very good. Oh, Red Lebanese Becau, we're going to try that. People have been telling me that Red Lebanese Becau, although it is a hardy Chicago type, they're saying that it almost tastes like cherries. It's like a more acidic version. When Doug visited us from California, I did taste his Red Lebanese Becau, and it certainly did almost taste like a cherry. But then again, his fruit quality is unparalleled, so I don't know if it's going to be the same thing for me. Raspberry Latte, also growing that. Let's see here. Regato del Salento by Farah. I wish I could afford it. Ronde de Bordeaux, must have for our area. Rosalino. This is a fig that is supposed to do really well here. It's supposed to be it's an early season fig in Italy. So by that logic, it should be kind of early season here, and I think it's actually somewhere in the mid-season range. And I'm looking forward to this variety. I've got cuttings actually from Paulo Bologna, indirectly. Sanguinato, we're going for it. Seo Miguel. Skora Vavatsika. My friend Gary says this one's common. He also really likes it. He also really likes Sanguinato, and he says it's also common. So going off Gary's thing here, I'm going to believe him that it's common. I don't think Gary has the wasp. So I'm going with that. Soban Blue Green. I'm excited to try this fig too. I got from Harvey last year. Sakura Black. Swati, a really incredible fig. I'm sorry. It's incredible. It's underrated because I feel like people don't ripen the fig long enough. It actually has dried on the tree for me in wet conditions. Sweet Joy. I have that one. It's supposed to be very good. Tashkent. At some point I'm going to grow this fig. At some point I'm going to grow Taro because they're both supposed to be pretty good for commercial varieties. Taro might even just be good in general. They both might be just good in general. I'm not sure. I'm waiting for more information on those to decide if I want to pull the trigger or not. Let's see. What else we got before we're done here? Unknown Pastillary. That fig is out of this world good. Vertal Negra. This is another fig from Pons that's supposed to taste out of this world. Really, I'm not kidding. This one is underlooked. No hype around it. Supposed to be great. There's too many good figs here, to be honest with you. White and White Madeira. White Madeira number 1. I did get some White Madeira number 1 cuttings. Really excited for that. Alright, I think we're done. Let me just go over my list here to make sure everything's right. Okay, we got check. 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 Black Greek, check. Bordeaux, Blanca Negra, check. Bordeaux Rosa, check. Calderona, check. De La Gloria, check. Encanto, check. Really excited to try that one. That's one that I'm willing to take a chance on. Little information about it, but my eye is telling me it could be really good. According to my taste, I should say. Figo Stefano Oscuro, check. GM 172, check. Hated de Argentile, check. I have it, but want to graft with it. Italian 376, check. LSU Purple. Mega Celeste. Another one that I'm trying, which is on Harvey's list, is called Bial. And it's supposed to also do really well here. And I'm going to graft that onto Bial and LSU Purple are going to be grafted onto Osborne Prolific. And Osborne Prolific, LSU Purple, and Bial, according to a friend of mine in Virginia, says they have a very similar taste profile, and I kind of want to see which of the three is better. LSU Purple, we did that. Mega Celeste, we did that. Red Lebanese Becau, check. Sakura Vavatsika, check. Alright, I'm missing some. Why do I have two of these? I don't see the other varieties I added. We don't see Sanguinato on this list. Is it gone already? Did I miss out? Oh, there it is. We got it. Sanguinato's on the list. Hey Harvey, I'm looking for... Where is, Okay, I don't have Lavetta on here. If Harvey's still here. Lavetta Campos, yes. Where is Pew de Pork? That was another one I was really interested in. It's not on here. I wonder how the hell I came across that fig. I'll have to ask Harvey about it later, but there was a fig called Pew de Pork that I was really interested in. That I think he sold it last year, if I'm not mistaken. So GM, I didn't add the GM figs. Where are they? Must have went too fast for this thing. GM 149A and GM 125. Let's see if they're both on here. Still missing 149A. So I would just do this, guys, just to check, you know. I'm an accountant, and this is what I do to double check, triple check. It's important you guys do this throughout your life, not just with Harvey's fig cuttings. Alright. Alright, so I got it all on here. It's pretty penny, I have to say. Let me do a little PayPal checkout, and then we can get back to the video. Oh no! Calderona's gone! It's gone! Oh, that's horrible. Where did the list go? It's gone. Where's my shopping cart? Alright, so I have to remove Calderona. That's oh, that sucks. I should have just done this immediately. So I have to remove Calderona. Abaveria, remove that. Alright, now let's check out before we lose anything else here. Okay, so you had Pew de Pork last year, but it just didn't grow enough. Wow. Interesting. Well, I'm going to have to keep it on my list. Ugh. Alright, we're checking out. Then we can end this live stream, talk for a little bit, and we can end the live stream. Yep. That's my address. That's my balance. So it's on its own roots, I guess, Harvey? Interesting. I was under the assumption, I guess, there's only certain varieties that you graft onto a rootstock. I had assumed that you put most of them on like brown turkey or something. Alright, we got our PayPal info in there, and we checked out, and we're all good to go. If anybody's got Calderona from Harvey, I gotta get myself a node of that. Just one node. That's all I ask. Alright, we're in. Alright, let's catch up back on the chat here. Let's see here. So, I don't know who Test is. I had a feeling. Test is Babylon, Matt says. That's funny. You grafted what, Ram? Did you graft HDA? So HDA grew very slowly for him, so I think the roots are probably not vigorous. It's Igo, gotcha. I'm selling on things already. I bought it from Nick, originally just called Lebanese Black. Okay. Alright guys, good luck with Harvey. See you, Matt. You're already gone, but see you later. I don't have enough experience with Patlikin to make a strong experience on it yet, but I think you should spend more money. I thought you were a French expert, Ross. No way. Is Pingo di Mel a Capra fig? No. Brian, good call. I'm pretty sure the address is right in there. I haven't moved. I've lived here my whole life, so. Is Unknown Pastellaria Smyrna? Yes. Everybody is saying it's a Smyrna. If it wasn't a Smyrna, I'd be growing that damn thing. Ross, don't tell us the total. We may not want to know. You should check out soon, Ross, and they might be sold out already. Ah, yeah. Calderona. Y'all is one of the Condent Parrot figs. Is it? Oh, right, yeah. Bial was bred or something by Condon, I think. You might be right about that. Anyway, it's one of them that I want to try. Ram is saying it's there. I grafted it, it's very biggest. So, I think, Ram, what you're saying... Oh, yeah, you had HDA. I rooted 2, grafted 1. The graft is taking off strong. So, yeah, I think it has something to do with the roots of these varieties. I have the same theory about Pastelleri. Particularly Pastelleri from Raintree. Lots of people are saying that it just drops its figs in its first couple years. It did the same thing for me this year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to graft Pastelleri onto some rootstock and see if I can eliminate that droppage problem. It might have something to do with the roots. That's my theory, but who knows? Let's see. Yeah, too expensive. I mean, there was only a couple things on there that were too expensive. Too expensive for my blood. Even though I just spent close to $200. Limited quantity, extremely high demand. Yeah. Harvey, you only have 7 to 8 varieties grafted. Some because they were slow on their own roots because the supply was limited and they wanted to grow them, grow more trees from limited wood available. Gotcha. Just tell my girlfriend you're staying home for dinner on Valentine's Day? She apparently is taking me out on a date for Valentine's Day. I don't have to do anything. Well, first off, I told her I don't want to do anything for Valentine's Day. But she said that we're doing this thing now where we go on like one date together. This is getting too personal. But we're doing one date together per month. So like I take her on a date. I did that last month. And then now it's her turn to take me out on a date, and I think that's what she's doing around the it's around Valentine's Day. It's not on Valentine's Day. So, Randy, you need to go back and hear your comments on the Palmata Hybrid. You do. Wait. Steve, you wanted 2 varieties and are already sold out. Holy crap. What variety? Wait. UCR 187 sold out? uh, Dude, I am lucky. Thank you, Randy. Yeah, I'm very lucky to have my girlfriend, that's for sure. She is into food and she's into growing things, and she works for a nonprofit that's actually involved with horticulture in the city of Philadelphia. So really cool that she's into this stuff just like I do. We on our 3rd date, we went to a local Asian grocery store and just nerded out together. That was our date. We brought home all this interesting fruits. Came home, ate the fruits, and we just couldn't believe how good some of them were. And she tried some new things that I had before, and I tried some things that she had never had before. Steve, I'll send you some Floria cuttings. Send me your address on Facebook. I'll send you a couple Floria cuttings. Black Beauty 10, I can't help you with just yet. You ever tried durian? No. But I did try jackfruit that on that date. So she really liked jackfruit, and she made me try it, and it's actually really good. Yeah. Blessed, lucky, all the same stuff. She's great. What about you, Randy? All the questions about my girlfriend. Are you married, Randy? What do you think this is, buddy? A one-way street? Somehow we got 27 people still watching us. I don't know how you guys keep up. How you guys put up with me. I should say that. Randy's married. All right, Randy. You have a couple Floria, but you're thinking that I want more for rootstocks for grafting. Honestly, Steve, if you don't know how to graft and you are into fruits, you're into fruit trees, I think it's a really, really good skill to know. I'm being really honest with you. Regardless if it's figs or not. Oh, look, it's Danny. Hey, man. Dude, we had a long... Dude, we had a long conversation today. At some point, I'm like, all right, I gotta get back to work. I can't keep doing this. But I wanted to solve that. Did you order anything, Danny? I doubt it, right? You got pretty limited space over there. I don't know if you guys have seen Danny's video on his tour of his house, his backyard, I should say. But he lives in what do you live in, Staten Island or something, Danny? And Danny has his backyard into 4 different sections based off of different parts of New York. It's so cool. He's got nicknames for it. Dude, the order's in. My order's in too. I missed out on Calderona. It took me too long to get that one in the order. Gotcha. Yeah, but if you guys haven't seen his video, it's so cool. It's one of the best garden tours I've ever seen, actually. I think Danny only has it on Rafed's Facebook group. So if you're part of Rafed's Facebook group, you could probably find it. Maybe I should just download his video and upload it on my Facebook page. Steal his video. Yeah, it's disappointing, but it is what it is. I'll get it next year, you know? I mean, if I can't get a hold of Calderona, I don't think anybody can, you know? We have so many varieties that people desire that there's a lot of trading fodder out there, you know? All right, cool. You're going to post it? That's nice of you, Danny. It really is a cool video, I have to say. Who else is in here? No, there's a lot of people in here, but I feel like there's some of you guys not saying hello. Dude, I am growing pomegranates. I'm growing a lot of pomegranates. I'm growing about 11 or 12 varieties of pomegranates. There is one variety that I did go with Mega Celeste, Steve. I did. Because I really think that it's a tasty fig. And I'm really excited to try it. Because it just looks really tasty. It's just the fact that it doesn't do well in our climate, supposedly, according to Herman. I'm going to try to get it to ripen in time before the rains come in. And usually in my area, it's really humid in October and like midway September. So like midway September, it depends on the year, but about halfway through September, we just get the fall weather coming in. And it ruins the quality of the figs. Hey, it's Naeem. Is that how I pronounce your name, buddy? Randy, I get them all outdoors in pots, but then I put them in the greenhouse in the wintertime. It's a very long thing about my pomegranates. I decided that for the long term of my future of pomegranates, I'm only going to stick to a couple varieties. And I have about 12 of them or something like that in 10-gallon containers. None of them have fruited, by the way, which is really upsetting because I think what happened last year is that they got hit by a frost. My greenhouse heater had died. It didn't die. It actually just like shorted. And I had to restart the breaker and get the heater to go back on. But in that time, I got a thermometer since. So if the temperature drops below a certain point, I actually get sent an alarm and I get woken up. So I'll know if it happens again. But yeah, the pomegranates were already awake, and the cold weather came in below 32 degrees and killed a lot of the new buds of these pomegranate trees. So I didn't get a single crop last year, and I think that's why. But then again, they're not like figs, right? Figs can fruit in containers in 1 year, less than a year. You could grow a fig from cutting, do really well with it, put it in a decent sized container, grow it out the whole summer, and you actually can get some figs by the end of the year. So I don't know what the deal is with the pomegranates yet, but we got TPC Delisle. I don't know how to say your name, sorry. How you doing? Did you buy anything in the sale that we just went over? It's Harvey's sale that he does every year. Shellmaker says they just discovered figs 1 week ago, and now I have 2 plants and 16 cuttings. This might be dangerous. First off, it is dangerous. I would stop. Right now, I would stop. And I would stick with 5 different varieties. I would go to my spreadsheet, which is in the description of every video I make, and find out where that fig that you're growing falls in these categories. If you fit in these 5 categories, you have 1 in each category, you're pretty much covering the flavors of figs. So find yourself a sugar fig, find yourself a honey fig, and find yourself a berry fig. Figure out which of those 3 you really like the most, and then you can expand your varieties based off of that. That's my best advice I can give you. It is also important, Shellmaker, to find varieties that do well in your climate. So it's very difficult to figure that out. But with some research and you can really figure it out. Second way good. Trying It's Tony. Is this Tony, my friend Tony? Which Tony is this? I don't know. I have a couple friends with the last name Tony, but I don't remember their last names off the top of my head. It's not mountain figs. Anyway, if you want to talk about pomegranates, Randy, I could talk about pomegranates all day. It's just that I don't know what to think. And I'm getting close now that I want to just downsize, because if none of them have fruited for me, here's the problem with pomegranates in my area, is that you kind of have to You kind of have to have a long enough season. The pomegranates take a long time to ripen. Yeah, they take 2 to 3 years. There's some debate. Outdoors without protection is really difficult here. There's one variety that does well here. It's called Salavatsky. You can plant that outdoors, but you have to make sure that it's well protected, like in a really good microclimate. Otherwise, it's a huge waste of time. I know a lot of people in this area that grow pomegranates, and they don't do well here. So you have to figure out the right microclimate. Otherwise, forget it. Oh, nice. So there's the video, Randy, on Rafed's group. Okay, so Shellmaker, you live in zone 10B. You can grow any fig you want. I would get, first off, I would start with one honey. I would get yellow long neck. I would get yellow long neck if I lived in California. It's kind of fun, right? Pretend like you lived in a different you live in a different place. I would get yellow long neck. Harvey sells it right now. I would also get. Do I recommend brown turkey? The thing is, brown turkey isn't so bad in California. I would also get in the berry category, I would find yourself Borgia Saute Noir, Brojotto Nero, or I would get Violette De Bordeaux. I don't know how to pronounce these crazy figs, guys. Help me. Anyway, Randy, I've heard that the pomegranates have spurs. Hey, no problem, Danny. Take care, man. You know, I've heard they have spurs, and I don't know how accurate that is. So, like, apple trees have spurs. Some stone fruits have spurs. So, does it take time for that pomegranate to develop those spurs to then flower? Or do the pomegranates just flower on New Year's wood? Because if they fruit on New Year's wood, I should have already had pomegranates. I think. Yeah, I should have had flowers. I got no flowers last year. Not only did I not get fruit, I didn't get any flowers. I have 11 trees of pomegranates that take up like a 12-foot space. 12 foot by 1 foot space. And it's just a huge waste of space, you know? But the problem with them is that they need a long season. Plus, you need to have them ripen outside of my fall season. Because if they ripen in my fall season, it's really difficult because they end up splitting. They're very prone to splitting, and it ruins the pomegranate. So, ruining the pomegranate in that way is horrible. So what I have to do is I have to grow them in a greenhouse. Unless I find one that's hardy and split resistant to put in the ground, I have to grow them in containers. So I grow them in containers, and then find varieties that are early. They're going to ripen before the fall, or they're split resistant. So that's the problem I'm running into with these pomegranates. Plenty of flowers, 2017, after our freeze mid-March. Okay. So I don't know what the hell the deal is with my trees then. So, new growth. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with my trees. It's so weird. I give them the same nutrients I give my figs. If anything, they have too much nutrients. Yeah, a lot of us miss Calderona. It's really upsetting. I really wish I had gotten that one. It's such a good tree to have here. Like I've said before in the beginning of this or different parts of this live stream, Calderona is grown by a guy, or has been grown by a guy in Belgium. He lives in a very similar climate to myself. It's actually kind of colder there in the summer, less heat. Yet, he grows it without any head start, and he gets fruit. So, Calderona is a winner here. One of the few Pons figs that doesn't need a head start. There's the Trace of Splace, doesn't need a head start. There's Planera, and there is Calderona and Cucurella. Those are the 4 we know of so far that can actually do well in a colder climate. Have I ever heard of the fig Gillettes? It tastes like an Almond Joy candy bar. I'm going to grow it again. Had it years ago. Finally died out with a brutal winter. I have heard of Gillette, and I was growing it, but then I decided I don't want San Pedro varieties, which is what I believe Gillette is. It only produces Breba. It's a really interesting, weird variety. It's one of the weirdest varieties out there, Steve. But I decided not to grow it. I'm using it as rootstock because with my greenhouse, I'm able to give my figs so much heat that then, yeah, it's not a total Capra fig grasshopper. It's only a partial Capra fig, so it's an edible Capra fig. But it only produces Capra figs as a Breba, I believe. It doesn't produce. So there's 3 different types of Capra figs, or 3 different types of crops for Capra figs. There's the Mamoni, the Mamey, I think, and the first crop. I don't remember the names in the order. Yeah, Ben, I believe, does have Gillette. A lot of people in yeah, it's persistent. A lot of people in Washington have Gillette. And I'm sorry, there's just better figs. There's got to be. You guys in Washington are kind of like led to believe that you need to find varieties that have Breba. Because most people thought for a while that there wasn't any fig varieties that could ripen their main crop early enough to fruit in Washington. But Ben is one of those people that have proven that wrong, and he's found a lot of main crop varieties that will ripen in you know, like really cloudy, rainy parts of Washington. Anyway, Randy, I don't know if they got to be old enough. Some of them they look really healthy. They are pretty thick. They have pretty thick trunks now. I've limited the amount of trunks they have. They should be sturdy enough to hold fruit. I don't know what the deal is. Definitely not over fertilized. Hey, Randy, have you found any pomegranates that don't split where you live? Seattle needs the Bravas more. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really familiar. I know, Steve, I think you've told me about your climate many times, but I just, for whatever reason, when I think of Seattle, I think of or when I think of Washington, I think of Seattle. But the climate is quite different all over Washington. Anyway, guys, we still got 18 of you guys watching. If anyone has any other questions, anything they want to know, now's the time. I'm going to get a little tired. I'm going to start ending the live stream now. So let me know if you guys have any questions before I head out. Yes, I am trying a lot of fruit trees. Randy, real quick, there is one variety that's supposed to do well. It's called, what is it called? My other fruit trees. So these are the pomegranates I'm growing, Randy. This is one I just got. It's supposed to be very good. Very, very excited for that one. I also had what many believe is the best pomegranate out there. There's a guy that had tasted a lot of the UC Davis collection and had found a variety called Mayak Semeni. Oh my god, the name is insane. I can't really pronounce it. I got a bunch of cuttings. I rooted all of them. saved one for myself, and I gave away the rest of the plants to people at a local fig gathering at Bass's. And now my tree's dead. So I'm like, ah, shit. Now I don't have the, like, supposed to be the best pomegranate out there. They also say that Parfianca is really, really good. And Sumbar is the one I wanted to tell you about. Steve, I would like to grow some Saskatoons. On my wish list, I have Northline Serviceberry. I'm trying to find this variety because this is the one that I want to grow. I just don't know where I want to put it yet. So I got to figure that out, Steve, but it's better than growing blueberries. And who asked me what am I going to grow? Oh, Naeem, just to answer your question real quick, I'm going to start grafting. It kind of depends on when my trees wake up underneath my house. So underneath the sunroom is where all the trees are that I'm going to be grafting. Those are all the rootstock. I'm not sure because I haven't put anything down there yet in previous years to know when they're going to wake up. But I'm going to keep a close eye on them and graft when they just wake up or right before they wake up. So I would expect they'll wake up at the very latest in late April. I could find you out the name grasshopper of this fig. So this is growingfruit.org. It's a really, really great website for people trying to grow any kind of fruit. So this is the name of the pomegranate. This is the guy Richard I was telling you about. He's went through all the UC Davis collection and found this pomegranate. He really knows his stuff on pomegranates. He even has like a PDF that he wrote up on them about. God, where's a photo of this fruit? So here's another one right here. Oh, interesting. Garnet sash. He says is the same thing as that. Interesting. Where's the name of this damn thing? Anyways, it was like a big event to even get me these cuttings. This is the name of the This is the name of the pomegranate. Myagkosamayani Rozovi. Holy crap. Anyway, Richard wouldn't even send me cuttings. He doesn't send cuttings, apparently. I think he's had a nursery his whole life, and now he doesn't send anything. But, I ended up... Oh, wow, look at this. So my friend Daniel is growing a bunch of these. So at some point I can get a cutting from him, I'm sure. Okay, so here's the fruit right here. So this is the fruit that I'm talking about. It's hard to tell. This is his pruning, by the way. Isn't that insane? How he prunes his trees like that? So I guess by this logic, they do fruit on New Year's wood. Like, look at that. That's crazy. So, where's the fruit, though? I swear he has more pictures of this. Oh, well. But that's the fruit, guys. Yeah. Pretty crazy. Yeah, he does the fig trees very similarly, but, you know, if you live where he lives, you can afford to do that. Raintree has it. What? Oh, they have the Northline Serviceberry? No kidding. Don't have any of this fall. I can send you cuttings or actually some suckers from them. I would love that, Steve. That would be incredible. Napalmed. I do keep my persimmons in containers. I only have one in the ground. I recommend you try these persimmons. They're my second favorite fruit. So obviously my first love is figs. But if you were to look at the other fruit trees I grow a lot of persimmons right here, and I grow a lot of pomegranates. Persimmon's my second favorite. I'm going to grow many, many, many persimmons in my future. Without a doubt, they're incredible. I'm getting a Sago. I already got some Sago sticks to graft with this year. I have some rootstock. I'm going to add 3 new persimmons. To answer your previous question, And Seijo is one of them that I'm going to grow this year. I tried Seijo. A friend of mine, Phil, in Georgia, he's a very nice man. One of the most generous people I know. He decided to send me, because I asked him. I literally just said, hey, can you send me some, I said, can I buy some persimmons from you next year? I want to get a sampler. He's growing a bunch of different ones. I thought he'd be a great person to ask. And he was willing to do it. He sent it to me for free. He sent me like 10 or 11 different varieties of persimmons this year in a package. I got to try a lot of them. And some of them were not perfectly ripe. They could have hung on the tree longer. But Seijo was by far the best. And Seijo is one of those that it has to be soft before you eat it. So it's astringent, but it literally tastes like a marshmallow. It has the flavor of a marshmallow. So persimmons, they don't have the texture of a marshmallow. I guess they could in a way, but I guess maybe in a certain stage of ripeness they might have a similar texture in the inside. But the flavor was so distinct like a marshmallow, it was crazy. My girlfriend said the same thing. She tasted it. She's like, you gotta try this. It tastes like a marshmallow. Took one bite, marshmallow. So the persimmons, though, I keep them all in 10 gallons. You can see it here. I do have one in the ground. I don't know why it's not listed here. One of these is in the ground. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it's Rosianka. Or it's Nikita's Gift. I think it might be Nikita's Gift. My Nikita's Gift tree is massive now. It's absolutely huge. It has a nice structure to it. I just pruned it. I can go out and see. I just threw the sticks down on the ground. But I can go out and see if you have, or if you need any. If you want any Nikita's Gift Scion, I think I might be able to salvage one for you. If it didn't dry out. Because I pruned it a week ago and they just been sitting on the ground for a week, but it's possible one of them is still good to graft with. Yeah, I mean, if you really like sweet things, I don't know what zone you're in. So you said you're in Connecticut, but I don't know what zone that is. So the problem here with persimmons is that a lot of the American persimmons they do really well here. I think a lot of the American persimmons are hardy to zone 5. A lot of the hybrids, so Nikita's Gift and Rosianka, they're hybrid persimmons between American and Asian. They have gained the hardiness of the Americans, and they can grow here as well. So they're hardy to zone 5. Nikita's Gift, Rosianka, Proc is an American, Barbara's Blush, Celebrity. All three of those do really well here to up to zone 5, I believe. But the problem what becomes is that the Asian persimmons, especially the non-astringent ones that you eat like an apple, which I am a big fan of, but I actually like the more astringent ones more now. The non-astringent ones are not very hardy. So it's very difficult. That's why they're breeding these now. They're breeding the Americans with the Asians to try to get a very, very hardy non-astringent. I would say sometime in our lifetime, you'll be able to grow non-astringent persimmons in zone 5. I think that might actually be possible. None of them need pollination that I'm growing. There are some varieties out there. You have to be a little careful that will require pollination. There's very few of them out there that do that. There's also some out there that if you do pollinate them, their flavor increases like tenfold. A good example of that is coffee cake, I think. So if you look at coffee cake, you'll see in this persimmon here, I would really like to grow coffee cake, but it's only hard to zone 5, and I don't want to get a pollinator It says pollinizer required, but that's not true. I've heard, actually Dave Wilson Nursery, the spokesman for this, Tom Spellman, that's his name. I've heard him say that you don't need a pollinizer for it, or pollinator for it, but when you do pollinate it, it does change the flavor significantly. You can see that right in there, in the brownness of the pulp. So this becomes very brown. When you see a persimmon that has a dark brown color like that, it's very different than most persimmons you're used to. I should say most non-astringent persimmons. Another really interesting persimmon is Maru, which is another one that looks incredible. See, look at the images here. See how it's very brown on the inside? This one, although, needs pollination to get this brown color, I believe. So, really cool, the world of persimmons, in my opinion. They really easy to grow, the trees. And in my opinion, the fruit is my second favorite, especially if you really like sweet things. If you like crunchy things, then you're gonna more enjoy the non-astringents. So they're also sweet, but they're more crunchy, like an apple. So I really like crunch in my food. I like seeds. I like figs with lots of seeds in them, although that doesn't really happen where I live because I don't have the wasp. But it would be nice to have some seeds in my figs. I am going to need a bigger greenhouse. You're right. One day, my friend, one day. The pomegranates, they're my third favorite. And that's why I have so many varieties. And I think the sweet acid combo of the pomegranate is really what I love. But as of lately, I've really been straying away from pomegranate things, more acidic things. I've really liked the sweeter stuff. I just have a crazy sweet tooth, and I would also recommend jujubes. Oh wait, but these are hardy to zone 5, but they need a long season. The W2s, Steve, they needed to be completed a couple days ago. That was the deadline. So what happens is the W2s will be completed by the accountant of whatever it is that you work for, whoever does their accounting. And then they'll send them out. And the latest they would send them out legally would be a couple days ago. So you should be getting it soon, I would think. Maybe like 10 business days from this point on. From the deadline, I should say. But I wouldn't be too worried about it, Steve, because, you know, we're still too far away from taxes. It's only February 1st. So, yeah, it was yesterday then. I would say, though, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it because the deadline for businesses is much earlier than for individuals. So unless you have a business, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Plus, you could be put on extension. And I don't know if you guys know what being on extension is, but you get another 6 months to do your taxes. You need the refund to cover the cost of cuttings. Yeah. Me too. Although I don't even know if I'm getting a refund this year. I doubt it. It's a cruel world out there. Although next year we should all be getting, for the most part, a tax cut. Say whatever you want about Trump, but we are getting a tax cut. Most of us. But yeah, you could be put on extension, and you get another 6 months. You get all the way till October 15th. Yeah, I know. I should never get a tax refund. You know, there is some truth in that, I guess, because we kind of have to be... We're held to a higher standard when we do our taxes. So if an accountant is, like, kind of bending the rules a little bit, doesn't look good because we know better. So the IRS takes that into account. As if somebody like you guys that aren't accountants and don't do taxes for a living, you could at least tell them like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. That's why you have been bending the rules, you know. But I have no excuse. What varieties would you recommend for Southern California? Yellow, long neck, and anything else? Yes. Are you just starting out? So you can grow anything you want in Southern California. I would say Nero 600M. Let's see. Where's my damn flavor groups? So in this category, I would say Long D out. This fig right here. Or I would say Black Madeira. You gotta have a Black Madeira. There's no question. You have to have it in California. Long D out is different enough, and I think you should grow it. I had a Long D out from California that was a 9.5 out of 10. I would also, in the berry category, I would grow a Violette De Bordeaux fig, specifically Nero 600M. I would also grow a Bourgeois Saut Noir. Any of the Col de Dames, Galicia Negra, of course. I would also find, if you have the Wasp near you, which you should if you live in Southern California, I would find Unknown Pastelleri. So I'm going to type that in there. This is one of the best figs out there. And you can find that for very cheap. LDA is the same as Northern. People can argue about it all they want. It's so similar that it's not worth growing both. In the honey category, I would grow Yellow Long Neck because it's huge and it's very tasty. In the sugar category, I don't know what you should grow. You could probably grow a California. You know what I would do? In the sugar category, I would just say the hell with it. Don't grow any figs in the sugar category. Grow something in the light berry category, which is similar enough to sugar. And I would grow ZD. I would grow ZD because ZD, that needs the wasp as well, and it's very, very, very good, that fig. It does to me though. I forget what tasted. It tasted very similar to Swati. So for those of you guys who don't have the wasp, Swati is a great alternative. I think Mega Celeste doesn't actually belong in this category because after seeing Harvey's photos of it, it looks more berry than anything else. So I'm going to reserve judgment on this one until I actually figure that out. I guess what you could do, I haven't mentioned a Breva fig, but there's probably a really good fig that produces a nice Breva. You could grow like Desert King. Again, it's a very cheap variety, but it does the job. And you're going to have Desert King Brevas very early. I do like sugar, but I don't like the sugar category very much. Alright, so you have Olympian. Forget about ZD, because Olympian actually is an English brown turkey variety, which is in this category. Brown turkey is in the sugar category, so you got that covered. What I would go for then is maybe Desert King if you want an early Breva. I would go with Long D out, and I would go with Black Madeira. This is my favorite category by far, Honeyberry. It's also many fig growers' favorite category by far. The combination of the intense berry flavor plus the very sweet honey of the honey category makes this a favorite among many fig collectors. Berry Nero 600M I had from California. I tasted it myself. It's an incredibly good fig. The quality is out of this world. It actually had some acidity to it. Smith as well. I just don't know how well Smith does in California. I've never tasted a California grown Smith. You could go endlessly with this category right here. You really could. I mean, there's so many good figs in this category. I think though, that yellow long neck does produce somewhat of a breba, so you could forget about Desert King. It's also quite early yellow long neck. You should get fruit in like sometime in mid-July, I would expect. Azores Dark is a honeyberry fig. I think it's very closely related to Malta Black. I mean, if you're looking for the best tasting fig for California, it's Black Madeira and Unknown Pastellieri. The rest of them is up to debate, but those two are incredibly good. I mean, it blew me away. I even tasted them grown in California, so that's a fact. Well, not necessarily a fact. I mean, there's a big debate that I have been debating whether or not Malta Black and Azores Dark are actually the same fig. I-258 is very similar to Black Madeira. It is an exceptional fig. You could argue that it's better than Black Madeira. It certainly is better than Black Madeira grown here in this climate, but I don't know about California. If you're growing it here, I would say Italian 258 and Smith might be your best choices. So far, I mean, this is gonna be my fourth summer, so there's a lot of figs I have to taste still. Do I think you need a greenhouse in 6A? No. Certainly not. Especially napalmed if your climate is warm in the summertime. So you might live in a 6A that has a pretty cool summer, but if you have a warm summer, which I think you probably do in Connecticut, you're fine. You can grow a lot of varieties. Go to this tab here in my spreadsheet. You'll find tons of varieties that do well here. Improved Celeste, Hardy Chicago, the Trace Displays, Pastellieri, Dallosa, Belfiore is supposed to be very early. Floria, Ronde de Bordeaux, Brooklyn White, Azores Dark, Malta Black, LSU Tiger, Long Day Out, Negretta. Every single fig I just mentioned is going to fruit for you very early, and you're not going to have to worry about whether or not it's going to ripen in time for you. What do I think, Ram, about San Miro Piro? Well, the leading expert on San Miro Piro is one person, is my friend Tony, and this is all I really can go off of. I think Harvey sells it, correct? Could be wrong. He does. Let's see what his look like. Let's close some tabs here, guys. It's getting out of control, right? Do you guys ever have that where you you have so many tabs open, you just like you just freak out a little bit? So this looks much better, but it still looks horrible. Like in terms of fruit quality, it doesn't look too great. This is 2015. Does he have an earlier picture, like a more recent picture of this? I don't think he does. So this is the only photo he has of it. It's supposed to be superior to Desert King. Yeah, I don't know. I think Tony raves about it. Let's see. Oh yeah, he thinks it tastes very similar to Long Yellow. So here's what if Tony thinks a fig tastes just like Long Yellow, and Long Yellow produces a pretty early main crop even here, why the hell would I grow San Miro Piro? You know? That's my thoughts. That actually is my thoughts that I had come to a conclusion a while ago when talking to Tony about this variety. It just doesn't make any sense. You have a main crop variety that's really early that will put out way more figs. It'll be way more productive. I think the size is probably... Okay, he says the size is similar to Long Yellow as well. It's debatable, Ram. I don't know. How much do you like Long Yellow? How much do you like that fig? Have you tried it? How much do you like honey figs? If I was interested in Bravas, like you probably are, Ram, I would go with Taro. So we got Taro Brava and the Taro Main. What else produces a pretty decent Brava? We got Grantham's Royal, which you probably know about. We got Desert King. Pingo de Mel can produce a pretty decent Brava crop. English Brown Turkey can produce a pretty decent Brava crop. I don't know, man. Bravas are not my thing anymore. I used to be all about the Bravas because I thought I needed that here. But now with the greenhouse, I don't really need it. Many people in this zone, they're just... The varieties are not hardy enough to keep the Bravas alive. Because if the wood... For those of you who don't know, the Bravas... If the wood... The Bravas produce on last year's wood. So when the tree's going dormant... The Bravas actually form as the tree's going dormant. It's a weird process. I don't think anyone knows exactly how it works, but you can actually see the Bravas on the wood, dormant. Obviously, they're dormant Bravas. But if that wood were to die because of the colds, you would lose your Brava crop. So it doesn't really do well here. That's why I'm not too much into Bravas. There's another variety out there I'm not thinking of that produces an exceptional Brava. This one, Harvey says, produces a pretty good Brava. My only gripe is that it looks like a Capra fig. It looks edible, but it looks somewhat like a Gillette, like a persistent Capra fig. This actually might be Gillette, this fig. I don't know. Who knows? Interesting variety, though, for sure. Taro is one I would get. I said that, I think. Lampira Preta, yeah. Yeah. What else? No. Oh, you know what else produces a pretty decent Brava? Canadria. And Canadria is really good. It also has a huge Brava. Ram, I'm sure you know more about Bravas than I do. I'm sure you've collected more information on them and retained that information on them. Yeah, you're probably better off not going with San Miro Piro if I had a guess. Steve, Brandon Street Unknown is really good. It's one of the recommendations I have here for even my zone. It's quite early, it seems like. I don't know for sure how early it is, but it feels very early. Teramo Unknown is another one, and Nebo, that I think are the same fig. I could be totally wrong on that, but I've consulted with Bill, who found Teramo. I've consulted with Ben, who found Brandon Street. And there's a fig called Nebo that a lot of the Michigan growers are growing that I think is all the same fig. And a couple other people, Bill specifically, is leaning towards agreeing with me on that. Yeah, you ain't in Brava country. You're in early main crop country. You should just go with LSU Tiger. All these, you should just go with this and forget about the rest. Add in Desert King to this list and add in Grantham's Royal and call it a day. And then consider these. These are the ones I'm testing and need to find out more information on to see if I really believe in them. Some of them I do know will work, like LSU Purple is a mid-season fig. It'll work here. Yellow Longneck will work here. It's actually, I haven't if I can get it, if I can get more of them. I've had a couple of them, but I need to have more of them before I can add it to this list here. Black Zadar, proven to be quite early. Rob's Genovese Nero is probably a brown turkey. Cure Beach, another brown turkey. But they're reliable here. LSU O'Rourke. This is like a crappier version of Improved Celeste, if you ask me. Let's see. Sal's Corleone is just a little bit on the later side. That's kind of why I don't have it in my top choices. It probably will never be in my top choices. This is one that is supposed to do really well here, mid-season. It's actually not too hard to find. You can get this one from Bill, from Off the Beaten Path Nursery. As for Panache, Bill from Off the Beaten Path Nursery says that it's early. Alright, not early, it's a mid-season fig, but it has to be from Just Fruits and Exotic. He's grown many different panaches, and he swears that the strain of panache is what matters the most. So I'm going to try it. We'll see. I didn't get any fruit from my panache this year. It grew to like 8 feet tall with 3 limbs and didn't produce any fruit. So anyway, guys, Taro is big. It's a big Breba. It's a big fig. You can get up to 300 grams. Anyway, if you guys have any more questions, I'm going to give you guys one more minute to just say your last couple thoughts. I want to thank you guys all for joining in on the live stream. I hope Harvey had a successful sale. It sounded like he did. Hope you guys enjoyed the content I provided for you guys. And yeah, if you have any other questions, last couple things you guys want to mention. If not, I'm going to get out of here. Hey, you're welcome, Shellmaker. I like this format, to be honest with you. I think I enjoy this, but yeah, no problem. No problem, Ram. Steve, take care. Oh, hey, it's some people I haven't seen. Necropsy, he's probably been watching this whole time. Didn't say a damn word. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Necropsy, get it from Just Fruits and Exotic, yo. Seriously, try it. I'm trying it. If you want me to be the guinea pig, I'll be the guinea pig. No problem. Naeem, Grasshopper, Napalm, no problem. I'll talk to you guys later. Deken, En, UCLA. I don't know what your name is, but thanks for watching. Alright, guys. I'll talk to you all later. See you on the next